How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Rangers Rundown. Georgiev gets his second shutout of the season against the Philadelphia Flyers. A little bit of revenge from the last time that these two teams met, where the Rangers lost in the shootout. Lafreniere, a healthy scratch tonight, and what it looks like is just a day off for Lafreniere. I really don't think this is performance-based. Nor do I think Lafreniere is really injured in any way. I think going down the stretch, hopefully this means that Gallant is going to start resting top players in preparation for this playoff run. So no Lafreniere tonight, but Hedl is back in the lineup. Kreider, Zibanejad, Vetrano, Panarin, Strome, Kopp, Gaudreau, Hedl, Kakko, and then Hunt, Rooney, Reeves on the bottom line. Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Trouba, Braun, Schneider, and Georgiev in net. The first 5 minutes of the game was all Philadelphia. And then the game really just took a hard turn about halfway through the first period. But for the first 11-ish minutes of this game, it was pretty much all Philadelphia. The Rangers' first shot on goal wasn't until 4.5 minutes into the game. Georgiev makes a good save on Hayes, 6.5 in, and then the lines come together. Shots are 7-1 Philadelphia, 6.5 minutes into this game. Third line has some pressure about 7 minutes in, and then Kreider has a partial break about a minute later. Halfway through, the shots are 9-3 in favor of Philadelphia, and Kakko rings one off the crossbar, but shortly after that, he would score his first goal of the game 10 minutes and 20 seconds in. He walks right into the slot after a Philadelphia turnover. Gaudreau had an assist on that, his 27th point, tying a career high for him. Gaudreau would get another assist later in the game, so he has now eclipsed his career high in points. 11:51, Cates takes a holding penalty, and 5 seconds later, Kevin Hayes takes a slashing penalty. So the Rangers get almost 2 minutes of 5-on-3 time. The lines come together because Kreider's sniffing around the glove, and that's partially through this 5-on-3. At 12:33, Kreider takes a slashing penalty. Lawton takes a roughing penalty. So offsetting, no change in manpower on the ice, but Kreider is off the power play because he's in the box. Panarin has a 3-minute shift during all of this. Zibanejad has a 2-minute and 42-second shift, and then I believe Adam Fox almost had a 2.5-ish minute shift. So those three Rangers, for some reason, triple shifting themselves. Schneider was off the bench for a while. He took a shot off of the chin. I'm not quite sure. We'll say halfway through the period. I believe it was a little earlier than that. And he went to the locker room to actually get stitched up. He came back in the second period, had some stitches on his chin. Final minutes of this first period, uneventful. Shots 13-10 in favor of the Rangers after trailing in shots 9-2. So the Rangers storm back and shoot, I think it was, 11 of the final 12 shots of the period were all Rangers. We get into the second period. Schneider's back with the stitches. 20 seconds in, though, Miller takes a holding penalty, but a good penalty kill for the Rangers. Third line has a strong shift about 4.5 minutes in, and then Kreider hits a streaking Vetrano for a chance. Vetrano is very fast. I don't know if he gets a lot of credit for that because Kreider is really fast, but Vetrano's got some skill. 8:22 into the second period, Kakko would score his second goal of the game, his 6th career 2-goal game. So it's nice to know that Kakko is coming back into his own. Hedl, just a beautiful backhand saucer to the front of the net, right on Kakko's stick, puts it in the back of the net. 2:40 later, 11:03, Panarin scores a goal, putting the Rangers up 3-0. Trouba has a good keep-in the top corner right at the blue line, and then just a pass all the way to the side of the net where Panarin is. He's able to just tap it in. A beautiful assist from Trouba on the Panarin goal. A flurry of shots on Georgiev shortly after that, and then the lines come together. The lines would come together about 3 or 4 times throughout this game. Philadelphia obviously frustrated they can't score, and then the Rangers frustrated just because it's Philadelphia. Just under 5, Kakko walks in and rips one, and then the lines come together again. 15-19, Hayes and Goudreau take offsetting roughing penalties. That's when the lines come together. It goes to a commercial break. We come back from commercial, and apparently we get offsetting roughing penalties. During that 4-on-4, Zibanejad had an open net, but he hit Lindgren instead of the back of the net, and Fox is also alone in front shortly after that during the 4-on-4. Georgiev makes a good save on Konechny in front. Then at 17:40, Zamula takes a delay of game penalty, puts it over the glass. Kreider has a deflection shot that is stopped. Shots 13-12 in favor of the Rangers at the end of 2 periods. Then we get to the 3rd period, and honestly, there was really not much to talk about. Rangers just kind of laying back, letting Philadelphia struggle, keeping the puck in their zone on their half of the ice. Rangers not really trying too hard to rack up the score, so really not much happened. Braun takes an awkward hit into the bench boards about 90 seconds in. And then 9 minutes in, Rangers get their first kind of bout of offensive zone pressure. So the first 9 minutes of the 3rd period is really just the teams getting into the offensive zone, not setting anything up. Play goes the other way. Can't set anything up. Play goes the other way. It's just this really boring back and forth. Philadelphia does get a 2-on-1 about halfway through the period, but that's broken up before it can get to Georgiev. 11.5 straight minutes with no whistle of just not really that exciting hockey. It was a very fast period. 11.5 minutes straight with no whistle. We finally get a whistle with 5.5 minutes left in the period. There hadn't been a whistle since about 3 minutes into the period. So just a long bout of just back and forth, line change, back and forth, not much happening. 17:41, Fox takes a slashing penalty, and Philadelphia pulls their goalie for a 6-on-4. There was an open net, but the Philadelphia player fanned on the shot. And then at 18:07, Kopp scores an empty net, a 6-game point streak for Kopp. I believe he now has 13 points in 12 games with the Rangers. I think that's correct. Goudreau and Konechny take offsetting 10-minute misconduct penalties, so they both go to their respective locker rooms. And then we get to the end of the game. Georgiev gets his 2nd shutout of the year. 6th of his career, 7th, 8th, something like that. Single-digit shutout for Georgiev, but still, he's been a backup goalie this whole time. 2nd in his past 3 games, I believe. So this is the 6th win in a row for Georgiev, and his 2nd shutout of the season. No complaints here. Stats at the end of the game: shots 34-28 in favor of the Rangers, face-off 55.8%, power play went 0 for 3, hits 22-33 in favor of the Flyers, blocks 12-15 also in favor of the Flyers. No trivia question because the game was on TNT. Not the most exciting game of the season by far for the Rangers, but 2 points. They improved to 48-21-6. The Rangers should be able to get to 50 wins this season and maybe push 110 points. The Rangers have, how many games do they have left? 7 games left, I think. After this, the next time they play is Saturday afternoon. It's a 12:30 game back at MSG against the Detroit Red Wings. So that's the next time. The Rangers get a couple days off, mend some bumps and bruises. Maybe another top 6 player is a healthy scratch on Saturday against the Wings. I guess we'll have to wait and see. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next rundown.